I met Lottie at Halloween dressed as Kate Moss.
This is such a funny story.
How
long have we known each other now? Almost 10. That's almost 10 years.
Yeah, that is quite
That's
a long time.
crazy.
But my first scene was me photographing Binky, Louise and Rosie basically in the nude. I did an interview with a health and wellness woman. This article comes out and the headline's like, heartbreaking reasons Olivia has to leave Made in Chelsea because she got an alcohol problem.
Let's talk about it, Sidemen.
I put my head in this bucket and they filled it with like crickets.
Right, let's go on to your brand.
It was beginning of lockdown. I remember it was pissing with rain and I rung a friend of mine and I was like, is it weird that I fake orgasming? Like that's how it all started. I honestly probably have about 100 vibrators in my house.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Dream On Pod with me, your host Lottie Moss. And this week I am joined by one of my lovely friends and Made in Chelsea royalty, LIV Bentley.
Hello.
I wish we had like a backing track of like clapping or something.
Big boos.
It's just like a boo. Well, thank you so much, Liv, for coming on my podcast.
Thanks.
I know you have your own podcast, kind of.
Private parts.
Private parts.
Yep. I was listening to you when you did your intro thing. Every week when I do it with Tom, I still have to read, welcome back to another episode of Private Parts.
You read it back?
I read it every time, yeah, because I'm just a bit thick.
Because do you not know what you're hosting?
No, I know exactly what I'm hosting, but I'm just a bit slow sometimes. My brain just,
No,
so
honestly, do you know what's so funny? Is like I have sometimes where I'm like, oh my God, like I'll sit at home and I'll be like talking to my friend or something and I'm like, I feel like this is better content than what I actually say on the podcast. I don't know whether it's the cameras.
Do you suddenly get nervous?
I suddenly get nervous or I suddenly get like,
I wish I had
everything
that
leaves
problem.
my brain and I think that's sometimes why I need to use the cards because I'm like, what am I talking about again? Even though, like, when I have a conversation with you, just me and you, we can, like,
It
talk.
is that short. No, I suppose
Sometimes it's a bit nerve-wracking. Like, ooh.
Don't. It's like my first day of fucking Made in Chelsea. I shat myself. I was like, what?
What was your first day on Made in Chelsea like?
It was a bit. No, it was really a bit. My first scene was me photographing Binky, Louise, and Rosie basically in the nude. And I for this photo shoot.
Wait, I think I actually remember this
And
episode.
I was like 20, and I remember I'd never met any of them. We were in this like massive house somewhere. And
Had you watched it before?
Yeah, I'd watched it. At school, everyone was obsessed with it because
Yeah,
Sam
same.
Thompson was at Bradford with us, and I remember everyone at school thought it was so cool. And I'd never thought of going on it, and then they just asked me. And then I remember doing this shoot, and I was thinking, what the fuck is going on here? Like,
Did you know that that's what you were going to be doing on your
yeah,
first day?
I did, but not how I'd like first meet them. Hi, get your clothes off. I'm going to photograph you. Like it was a lot, but no, it was.
Obviously, it wasn't a real shoot, was it?
No, it was because then we did an exhibition, and
Oh,
we
I
printed the
remember.
photos.
Do you know what's actually so crazy is I remember these episodes.
I mean, I actually watched it then when I was on it.
I was such a big fan of Made in Chelsea. Same thing at my school. Everyone
Everyone
watched
was
it.
obsessed
We'd come in
with
on
it.
Tuesday because it would air on Monday night.
Yeah.
We'd come in on Tuesday and we'd all be like, oh my God, did you see what happened to Made in Chelsea? And I remember watching Alex on it and being like, oh my God, who would ever date him
I
after what
always
he did
forget
to
that you
Binky?
dated him. I always
But
forget.
I'd be like, who would date him after what he did to Binky? And then, oh wait,
Oh,
me.
that's how I met you.
That is how we
I
met.
met Lottie at Halloween dressed as Kate Moss.
This is such a funny story.
I looked a bit ridiculous, but that's literally how I met Lottie, and I was like, I'm dressed as your sister.
Oh God, that is funny. Yeah, and then we had an after party, which we won't disclose what happened because it was wild.
You were dressed as a rash.
I was dressed as a bacon rash.
Yeah, it was all very odd.
Was that what's called a bacon rash?
Rash as a bacon?
Rash of bacon.
You're asking
Yeah.
more. I have no idea.
But yeah, gosh, Made in Chelsea. When was that? The first time you ever went on it? How many years ago?
2016.
God. Yeah, because I
8
moved to
years.
London in 2017.
Did you?
Yeah.
But
so it
I
a
was
year.
young. I was 20. I was 20, 21. Yeah, I was quite
I'm
young.
27 now almost.
Because I forget you were young when you dated Missy.
Yeah, I was 18 when I dated Alex.
Okay, that sounds slightly creepy now.
Yeah.
She was 18.
You know, I actually do think that that's slightly creepy now. I'm like, wait, like he was 20. He was my age when I started dating him and I was 18. Do you not
But
think?
at the time, you don't look at it like that.
Yeah. I mean, I know now why I think he dated me, which is a bit deep, but like I think it's
No, I
'cause-
think you guys were in love, no? You were together for fucking ages.
I don't know. For me, I was so in love with him because obviously, like, it was my first proper real like love. Like, it was my first like just moved to London. I think I'd been living in London for like 3 months, and I met him, and it was so like because he was also like famous because he was from like he was on Made in Chelsea. I thought it was really cool. I just really loved.
You were doing it with the clout.
I was doing it. Yeah. Look where I am now. No, it
Your own
worked.
fucking podcast
Yeah.
off the back of it. That's hilarious.
No, but no, I do think I was genuinely in love with him, but I don't know if he was.
I
Like,
think
as
you
in-
must have been. You were together for long enough for it to have been meaningful to
Yeah,
both of
it
you.
was crazy though because I really did get to see like the behind the scenes of the
Yeah,
Made in Chelsea
Ibiza.
afterwards. Yeah, I beat them.
I think about
So
this
for
a lot.
context, me and Liv both went to Ibiza to film Made in Chelsea for their summer series, but I didn't film.
So yeah, we were filming the series there, but I must have been like 24, 25.
Yeah.
And I was out every single night.
Every
I'd
night.
get up at 8 a.m. the next day, put my makeup on and show up at filming and I was fine. Now, if I even considered doing that, I'm in bed for 2 weeks. Like, I just don't know how to bounce
yeah,
back.
because we hit it heavy out there as well. It wasn't like, do you remember when we rented that yacht and we went out into...
and someone set fire to it. And the whole thing was a fucking shambles. Some idiot.
So everyone had a day off. I obviously didn't film a thing, but I was just out there with Alex for like 2 weeks. And we all hired a yacht. We hired these cars and then we all drove. To be fair, it was a really good day. We drove down to like the port. We got on this boat. The captain was like, "Oh, we're going to go to Formentera."
Oh no, hang on.
And we were going to get off at Formentera and go around the island. By the way, we were all fucked by the time we even got there.
I got papped with my fucking tits out because of you. We'd all gone on this yacht thinking it was all chilled. Yeah, because they were all like, "Oh my God, it's Lottie Moss." And then I saw a photo of me sitting on the front of this boat with my boobs out. And I was like, for fuck's sake. And we were all...
Who else got photographed with their tits out? Somebody else did.
Loads of people.
Somebody else did.
And then the alarm on this boat was going off and someone had set fire.
Was it Frankie?
Maybe.
Someone was walking down the beach in Formentera that same series and got a picture with their boobs out.
Probably.
Can't remember it.
Which actually, now you think about it, that actually is wrong. I don't think they should be...
No, that shouldn't be allowed.
Because I like tanning topless if I'm abroad and it's like
I
allowed
you
where
used to
you
always
are.
Tan
Always do it.
topless.
But then actually now, well, no one's going to pat me because I'm fucking washed up. But like...
No, you're not
you
washed
wouldn't,
up.
yeah, anyway. Moving on from pap shots of boobs.
But yeah, no, that was a funny day though. I actually always tell a lot of people about that day because I actually think that was one of the best days ever.
That was probably the best summer of my life.
Yeah.
I look back at those days and I just think no one could give a fuck. It was just all
Good
fun.
times,
It
wasn't
was.
it?
It was fun times.
With Harry Barron and I still have videos from that boat trip. That was hilarious. But anyway, let's get into it. How long have we known each other now? Since I was 18 and you were...
How do you now?
27.
30.
Almost 10. That's almost 10 years.
Yeah, that is quite a long time.
That's crazy.
But I can't... Did I know you when you dated Sam Prince? Or had you just broken up with him?
No, because I dated Sam Prince in school.
Oh, fine.
I was like, what, 16 or something when I dated Sam Prince?
Right.
He was 16 as well for context. Not
all these
he was not a creeper.
older creepy men. I'm joking.
And then, no, we met through Alex, when I was 18. But I'd literally just turned 18. I was like very new to whole Chelsea scene and everything. I was living with Emily Blackwell.
Oh, yeah, because you knew her prior. You were at school with her or something, weren't you? Or how did you know
me
her?
and Emily met the first time I ever came to London.
How come you
Well,
never
not
went
first
on...
time I ever came to London,
Were you asked to go on Made in Chelsea?
I was asked many times to go
But
away.
you just- why'd
they
you say...
slid into my DMs Monkey Kingdom a lot.
Did you say no?
I said no, but also at the time I was modelling with Storm and they said no. But I mean, do you know what's crazy is my agency hated that I even hung out with you guys. Like, hated that I hung out with Made in
I
Chelsea
know, I
people.
remember all of this because I remember you saying this and
They were
I
like,
wondered if...
cheapening your brand.
Yeah, rude.
Rude. I was like, but they're my friends.
Of all things to cheapen your brand.
But also, it's crazy because it's like, you guys were my friends then. So I was just like, it wasn't even like a...
Yeah,
I mean, I wasn't going to not be around my friendship group. But it was a nuts time in our lives, I think. We were all very young, very stupid, very silly.
I think that's why I hung around on Chelsea for so long.
Raffles was in its peak era at this time as well.
You just have to pay me money to go to Raffles now.
I went
Seriously.
recently and I
Did
was like,
you?
oh my God.
No, I got dragged. This was the pit.
I went with Fraser after dinner, obviously, because Fraser owns it. So I was like, ooh.
Oh yeah, no, he doesn't do anything for that anymore. I ended up in fucking embargoes not too long ago, as in this year. To the
Wow,
point,
I'd love to go
my
back.
brother, it was just before he went to uni, and it was like a uni night, obviously, because anyone in embargoes is 20 years old. They wouldn't let us in, and I was like, well, obviously, I was with a group of people who were desperate to go, and then I go in there, and it was awful, and I was like, it's just too much. I'm 30
Was it the
now.
same?
Exactly the same. Just full of 20-year-olds.
Oh my God. Because back then we all felt like we fit in because we were all like in our early 20s. Now,
that's the problem.
They
You
would
go
stick
out.
out like a sore thumb.
You see all these young girls, and I was like, no, I'm too old for
Actually,
this.
the last time I properly went was to embargoes was actually with Ollie and Gareth after we'd gone out for like lunch or
They
something,
love
and
it.
we went there. And we looked around and we were like, I think we should go. It's not really our age group, is it?
There's what? Oh no, it's 151. I actually used to like that.
I used to love 151. What a throwback.
I know.
Do you miss being on the show? Because you're not on it right now, are you?
I actually did an episode that's coming out this week. I Yeah, I go through waves of missing it, but then it's weird because I stopped just to clear this up. I didn't stop because I was an alcoholic.
Is that what they said?
Yeah, I did an interview with a health and wellness woman, this journalist. Anyway, next thing you know, this article comes out in the headlines like heartbreaking reasons Olivia has to leave Made in Chelsea because she got an alcohol problem. I was like, sorry. I said I stopped drinking when I left because I need to focus on my business and just get my shit together. And to be honest, that's why I did leave, is because I just had so much work
She was like,
to
this
do.
is going to make it more interesting though.
I DM'd her. I said,
She
how
was like,
dare you?
nah.
I said, you cheeky bitch, you use that for clickbait.
Did you message her?
Yeah, and I never am like that. I normally don't really rise to that sort of shit, but that really wound me up because the whole piece about the
really pissed me
article
off.
was about wellness and like
To be fair,
exercise.
I do think that like being on that show is synonymous with like drinking a lot and going out a lot.
Yeah, but then you kind of like...
That's why they needed a newer cast. I think like a younger cast.
because they're more energetic for it.
they
Now
are
I
more-
can't go out.
It's easier for them because also like a lot of the drama centers around
boozy
drinking
nights.
and things that happen when you are drinking, like getting with people and
But I mean,
having
that's the
sex with
same
people.
in real life. Like when you party with your mates, there's always something that fucking
Yeah,
happens.
but the thing is, when you get to like kind of our age now,
I
like
have
we're
no
not really going.
interest in it.
I have no drama
But
in my life.
I have no interest in it. That's why when you and I and Ed Page go to freebie launches, I'll have 3 glasses of champagne and go and have a nap. Like,
yeah.
it's
No,
not
truly.
just-
It was, and me and Ed just had like a really wholesome lunch, and then I was like, oh, I'm gonna go walk
I'm
home.
like that though. But I feel like we really nailed that partying scene. Like that's why now I'm so...
No, say because also I do feel like partying was better back in the day than it is now.
Yeah.
Like there was something to it back in the day. There was a spark in the air.
Now it's
it
just
was-
a mission.
It is, but it's also I don't even feel like for the younger generations it's as fun.
But they're all the woke lot are a bit more like healthy, aren't they?
yeah,
But they're not really
the
about...
generation now is much more like here's my 10-step skincare routine and like
I find, by the
aloe
way,
yoga
that
gym at 6
I
in the
find that
morning.
extraordinary. Whenever I go on my For You page on Instagram, which I find myself scrolling on a lot, all these girls on their way to do their like GCSEs doing their skincare. I think I honestly
With
use
drunk
like
elephant products that I can't even afford.
You probably had one moisturizer and a makeup wipe when I was like 16. I didn't even think about
I still
skincare.
use like the simple wipes.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? I wasn't doing any of that.
Only recently have I started cleansing my skin. Like
Recently I started
10 years
washing my
too
face.
fucking late.
No, it's true. I do think we got the best of it. But like I think we've also grown out of that. Do you know what I mean? We're like
Thank God.
we're adults now.
Because I was
kind
worried at one
of.
point when I was partying. I was like, will I ever get bored of this? And now
What?
finally I
used to
have.
think the same thing. I used to be like, is this going to be
Because
me?
there
Am
is
I
the
going to
odd
be 40
person
and
who's in
unmarried
their
still in
40s still
Raffles?
partying,
Like
yeah.
it's the ADHD.
So someone DM'd me the other day. People asked me if I've got ADHD, and I actually thought I was quite a calm person. But is it not? What does it actually mean?
I don't know. It just means like
Attention
hyperactive.
See, I don't think I am hyperactive.
Like, no, I don't actually think you have it because I find I really struggle to like even sit down and do like daily tasks.
I just get bored of people's
like
chats,
emails,
so I
replying to
move
emails
on.
and stuff. I can't do. I'm like, no. Oh, I get like overwhelmed if I've got too many things on my list to do.
No, I know what you mean.
I think it actually presents itself more emotionally as well. Like I'm so emotional. Like when I'm sad, it's like depression, and when I'm happy, it's like I'm so happy.
I always wonder this. Like whenever I go through a breakup, I don't eat, I can't leave the house. Like I am in a state. Other girls, I see them out or swanning around on dates 2 days later. Like I don't understand
They've got a
that.
boyfriend in a month. Do you
But
know what I mean?
how is that possible?
No, do you know, I think there's some people that like being
The
in
bounce
relationships.
back, but I just
and
have
some
never
people,
had that.
I don't think some people like actually are in love with their partners. Like, I think some people are like with them because it's comfortable. And that's why when it ends, they move on so quickly because they just kind of want to be in a
Yeah.
relationship. That's my theory on people that are consistent in relationships. I'm like, you just want to be in a relationship. You don't really
Actually
care
wanna
about
be
who it's with.
someone, yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, speaking of relationships.
Oh yeah. I hope that's why I'm never going through a breakup again. I told him that.
Yeah.
My sweet, sweet boyfriend, Rory.
Lovely. I'm actually happy for you. Even though
But
I'm
listen,
recently single,
but you've only just become single. I did like a good 2 years single, I think. I can never remember when I was
No, but my last boyfriend, proper boyfriend before my last ex was Alex. I was single for like 7 years.
Oh
babe.
shit, yeah. Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with that. Like I enjoyed my single time. And then when I met Rory, it was like such a nice surprise because I wasn't
loved you
even
when you were
looking
single.
for it.
I mean, not that I don't love you
but
now,
I
but
like it was just such a nice time to like get on with everything, like work hard,
Yeah.
do like focus on yourself. Because I think when you're in a relationship, it's hard to do that. But when you're in the right relationship, it obviously works out. And like with Rory, it's weirdly the first relationship I've ever been in that it's just so easy. Like
yeah, it just works.
it just
makes
works.
sense.
Yeah.
That's good. I think it as well because he's a bit older.
Yeah.
Like you've got, like who was your last ex before him? Was it
Tristan.
Tristan. God.
But that
So when
was
did you guys
so-
break up?
2
years
years
ago?
ago? Yeah, 2 years ago. But that was very like, I hate using the word toxic. It wasn't toxic. It was just very heavy because obviously the show and it was like, we'd done that whole breaking up, getting back together thing. I think it was, we sort of really tried to force something that unfortunately just
Is it
wasn't
really
there.
different being in a relationship that's like off camera for once?
Yeah, but also I don't think the relationships I was in before were the right ones. Like I had prior to Tristan, I was with Digby, and it was a very sweet relationship. Like I didn't behave hugely well, but I think it's because I was trying to juggle that and the show. Then I had Tristan, which was slightly more serious because we ended up living together. But it was there were hiccups from day one, like very early on. But with Rory, it's so like we haven't had like those sort of like
I think that
big
though in a
things.
relationship, if it's meant to be, like it's just easy.
It's just easy and like
it's easy. It shouldn't be
I've
difficult.
never been with anyone that we don't have like screaming fights. Like if there's an issue, it's dealt with like there and then. We actually talk about stuff, and that for me is very new. Like I've never had a relationship where we can sit and just talk about everything, and it's just it's amazing. I want to marry him.
What's that like?
It's actually very nice and refreshing.
No, because honestly, you know that I've struggled with relationships because you saw how mine and Alex's relationship unfolded, which was very
How long were you together?
toxic. Me and Alex went together for very long. I think almost a year.
Oh fuck! I thought it was way longer than that.
It felt like longer, babe. It felt like years.
Listen, I actually believe when the time is right, like when you're in the right place in the right time, it will happen.
I keep telling myself.
I think it will. I think it just means there's more you've got to do before you get to that point.
Yeah. To be fair, you're
fucking 27.
In my last relationship, I did think to myself, I was like, I really feel like I don't think I'm actually ready. Like I thought I was ready, and then when I was with him, there was so much that I think I still had to work on.
Yeah.
But I will say one thing about my ex is that he kind of loved me into loving myself, into kind of realizing that I deserve someone who's like nice to me and kind and
you do.
funny and you know all the things that I deserve I will get.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for that. And now I'll move on and find.
You will. It will happen.
Tell me about your nude calendar with your family. I've just seen. What is this?
So basically, I can't remember when it was. Years ago, my father thought it would be funny. I was a photographer. Actually, let me get this straight. Because I said this on private parts and I think people thought my dad was a pervert. I was like, no.
He made us all do naked shoots.
It does sound. Years ago, when I was a photographer and my whole themes for all my own personal artwork was fine art nude. So I photographed like ballerinas, then I'd actually photograph myself. And that's what my photography style was. Anyway, my dad was like, it would be funny if we did a nude Christmas calendar to sell to people in the village, purely to shock them. And I was like, okay, this is jokes, whatever.
The thing is, because I've met Liv's family and
they're
it
all
makes
fucking
sense.
nuts.
They are all nuts. So if you haven't met them, it doesn't really make sense. And I can see how people would think.
I think
but
it's
I've met them,
odd.
so I get it. I'm like, oh, that is really funny.
They're all just really funny. So yeah, anyway, we tried to do this fucking nude calendar and then it got weirder and weirder.
Wait, did you take the pictures?
I took some of them, yeah. I was there with the homemade jams that my father liked to sell in the village. So I had a tray here and a tray covering that. I think we had a cousin with a box full of marshmallows. My mother was naked with the laundry basket. And then
that's amazing.
My dad had a fig leaf. And then we had a family friend who had a dead pheasant hanging by his pee. It just got weirder and weirder. And
you had other people
people were getting involved. We then had the guy who sort of like used to sort out our computers, standing there with his penis out holding the keyboard, as in like the
way
computer
people just
keyboard.
came over, like, to the mailman, do you have a minute?
Over Sunday lunch, could you get behind that bush? So yeah, and then anyway, thank God it never actually went anywhere.
I do love your family though. Your family are like very close, aren't they? And, like,
yeah, we're all very close, which is so nice.
Where do they live now? Do they still live in the same house?
No, we moved out of that. Yeah, my parents have sort of moved to Cape Town.
Oh my God.
Yeah, which is really exciting. So we're all going there for this Christmas.
But that's sad a little bit as well because you live here and then them living there.
Well, they're going to go between here and there. But no, that house that you came to, oh, yeah, I remember this. Lottie had a big fight with Mitch. It was Mitch. Did you have a fight one day? So they were both chasing each other down the M40 in taxis while I was driving in a separate car. Do you remember this? Then I pulled over, then you got in, and then Mitten eventually got in, and we all went down to my parents' house and just sat and ate Domino's pizza.
Oh my God, I don't even remember this.
How do you not? We sat there. My mum was like, "You guys are slobs."
I do remember us getting to yours and having lunch outside.
Yeah,
it was summer.
that must have been another time.
Yeah, no, because I think
maybe that was it.
I don't know.
I just remember us all being hungover.
Yeah.
My mum used to go mad. She'd always be like, you only ever come down here when you're hungover. And we used to just sit on the sofa eating pizza, not talk.
Yeah, I remember we sat there rotting on the sofas after. God, was he there then? I don't even know.
He did come down. Oh, fuck.
Oh my God, but that is funny. Yeah, we did argue a lot. One thing about me and Alex, we argued.
You were good at it though.
We were great at it. Yeah, much to everyone else's dismay because everyone else had to deal with it. I just remember Emily would just be like, for fuck's sake. She wouldn't let him in the house sometimes because she was like, you're just going to argue and I can't be asked for it.
I think that's is that a young love thing though, where it's just sort of like screaming and shouting? And
we were not good for each other, and like it was sad though because like we got along so well and we had like such good times together. Like the beginning of the relationship was so lovely, and like we did really like each other. But like I think he was also unfaithful, which caused a lot of the arguments. But I mean, I can't fully put the blame on him because it was a lot. I was so young. I was 18.
Young.
I wanted to go and have
fun. He's
fun.
on TV. You're a big model. Like, I think there was a lot.
It's funny because I remember one night. Do you remember when Bodo's was open?
Oh my God,
one night.
Those were the days, Bodo.
Those were the days. We came back, me and Alex, from dinner, and I was like so up for going out. And we got into bed, and when he fell asleep, I like
you got up and left and went for dinner. Went out.
I went hilarious. Out. Someone called me and went, "Come to Bodo's." I was like, "I'll be there at 5." And I literally, like got his arm and like picked it off of me, and I was
went
like,
on a night out.
Literally left the house and just went on a night out.
That's too.
Woke up, he's like, "Where are you?" I was like, "Yeah, let's talk about it." Sidemen, how was that?
Sidemen.
Because I got offered it and I said no because I had to do another TV show.
Oh yeah, you did. You know what? I had no idea.
Me and you would have been funny in it together.
It would have been, yeah. Well, you're a bit like Chloe Burris.
Yeah,
Thank God I had her.
Yeah.
But it was more because I'm a bit of a pussy when it comes to stuff like that. So when I signed up to it, I'll be honest, I didn't even think about it. An old producer from Chelsea had sent me the thing saying, would you be up for doing this? And I thought, oh, fuck it, I'll do it. It's only a week.
Yeah.
I had no idea what it even was. I didn't really know what the Cybermen. I'd never heard of them. And I thought, I didn't know.
I heard of KSI or anything?
No, I hadn't. What? But I don't know, because I don't know why. I think it's because I am maybe a bit older. Well, no, I can't say that because people might know who they are. But I just hadn't, I'm
really in the YouTube scene
no,
though,
I'm not.
are you?
I'm not even really in the TV stuff. Like, honestly, all I think about is my lube.
To be fair though, when I go to events now, I don't know any of the Love Island people.
I'm
sorry.
I've never
I don't know who
watched
they
any
are.
of that stuff. Honestly, and even when I filmed with Chelsea, I didn't know who half the fucking cast were.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that's true. But that's because they're all new.
But so anyway, I signed up to this thing literally a few days before. It suddenly hit me that I was doing it. And it was a lot of fun. I've never done a show like that. Like, I enjoyed not having my phone for a week. Was actually really nice.
Yeah.
The only thing
quite professionally done.
Yeah, but in this way that, like, there weren't cameras in your faces or anything. There were just cameras all over the place. But there's no the producers in there or anything. You're literally living there. They take your phone off you. And the only thing I said, I'll only do it if I can smoke. And so there's like a tiny little room. So I spent most of the time in this tiny smoking area.
Did they film in there?
No.
But will it get demonetized on YouTube then if it's smoking? I guess.
No, I just don't think it was all, you were hence the name inside.
Yeah.
But it was as in like, it was all in like this big warehouse. So there was no outside space. So where I would have a cigarette was like this tiny little bit.
So what kind of challenges and stuff were that? Because I got the brief as well, obviously, but like it said
I forgot to read that part
of it.
So I didn't,
that, yeah.
And then literally before I went in, I remember talking.
Said that they were doing challenges that were like what the sidemen do on YouTube, which I'd never watched them either, so I didn't have a clue. So I had a little look, and you see that they do these like,
well, no,
like
the only one
move
I'd
if you're
sort
tickled
of
or something like that.
Seen was someone farting in someone else's face, and I was like, that can't be right. And then so I sort of was like, it's fine. This will be filmed. They won't do anything too wrong. But no, I mean, in terms of the actual challenges, they weren't. I actually found them, they were all right. I mean, I had to eat something fucking disgusting. This thing called, oh God, durian fruit. The fruit that smells like vomit.
Oh my God, no.
And the smell of it, it was the pits. Like, it was disgusting.
Really?
Yeah, I'd eat this whole thing. And then the other one I did was I put my head in this bucket and they filled it with like crickets, all these bugs.
I see, I couldn't do that.
But weirdly, it wasn't that bad. Like, I know it sounds ridiculous, but yeah, it wasn't. But I'm quite tomboyish, so that stuff doesn't really bother me that much.
Because I've been watching I'm a Celebrity and
the only thing with I'm a Celeb I couldn't do is the eating of the animals' arseholes and dicks and stuff. That for me would
You should do I'm a Celebrity. I could see you on it.
I would love to, but I don't think I'll ever get the call up.
Really?
Yeah, I've passed my time now.
Past your prime,
I
babe.
need to go back to being in Chelsea for a couple of seasons.
Yeah.
But no.
Go in there, stir some shit and then leave and then get your I'm a Celeb deal and fuck off.
Yeah, nailed it. But yeah, that's the only thing on those ones. That and heights with the I'm a Celeb. I don't know about those jumping out of... the walking on the building
challenge, I'm like, you know when they're like in those tank kind of things and they get all those, I couldn't do it. I'm so claustrophobic. But then I hate animals.
Your adrenaline
not animals,
would just
like crickets and
kick
insects.
And you would just do it.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I could do something like that. I've been offered I'm a Celeb as well and I said no.
Really?
Yeah.
You should have done it.
No, I don't want to do it. I can't.
If you don't want to do one of the challenges, don't you? How does it work? You just say, I don't want to.
You say, I'm a Celebrity, get me out of here.
Oh, and then you're evicted from...
No. I'm a Celebrity, get me out of here. And then you leave the challenge.
Oh, you don't leave the camp.
You don't leave the camp, but then they'll probably get rid of you because then you're not doing any of them. Like, I would be useless. I'd be like, no. Because literally, I was watching it the other day with my friend. I thought, nah, immediately no. I'd look in there and go, no.
I should probably watch it.
I think you would do really well. Like, I think you do all of them.
The only issue, though, is that Toff and Sam Thompson, both from Chelsea who've gone on it, have won. So if I was to then go on it and didn't win, the shame. It would be fucking mortifying, wouldn't it? Oh, I've come out
I think 7. You would win because I think you're really likeable and I think you're really funny.
Oh, I don't know. Get me there without my lashes
got you
and my ponytail.
Today.
I would choose doing that over I think something like Big Brother. I don't think
no,
I
Big
can
Brother
do
would
that.
send me. I mean, I'm already screw loose. That would send me into that.
That would send me mental.
I would leave there and go into the mental hospital immediately.
Weirdly, after doing a week in Inside, so you're basically there's no daylight whatsoever, and you are no daylight. Like it's all boarded up.
That apparently, if you're like without daylight for a while, it does.
But there are camera lights, so it's like it's normal, but there's no fresh air. But on the last day, I looked at Chloe and I was like, I borderline feel high. Like I was I was desperate to get out, and that was a week.
Yeah.
So I don't think well, I suppose in Big Brother you do have a little garden bit, don't you?
Yeah, that's the thing. You have a garden bit. I could do it if I had fresh air outside area.
Yeah, that's what you need.
I mean, I've spent longer in my house in a week. Do you know what I mean? So let's dig deep into Made in Chelsea. Why did you want to quit?
So I
mean, there's not really anyone from the original cast. I mean, not that you were like originally sure,
well, I was like in between the two, and then I realised the longer I was doing it, it was like I sort of swapped from the older lot to the younger lot. So it wasn't because I didn't have any mates on it, because I still had Ruby, Emily was still on it. But when I was in Sydney, which is the last full season I did, I was like really struggling with working out what to do, and I think my business wasn't suffering, but I wanted to put more time and energy into my business. And I knew I couldn't do both, because it is like Chelsea is time consuming and
it's so last minute as well.
Yeah,
like,
and it was too
like how is it with the filming schedule as well when they call you up to like do a filming thing? It's like
and stuff like that. So I just didn't want to. I just wanted to try something else. And also I'd done Chelsea for 8 solid years. The longest.
Did you feel as well, because like everyone else, they're like young and they're dating on it. It's like you're. Do you know what I mean? You're not really like dating anyone on that show anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like. It's a bit more fun when it's all your friends, everyone's boyfriends. It's like you know.
It is a lot more fun because you can like do the fun drinking and the dating and all that stuff. And I think I was just like, I'm turning 30. I sort of wanted a change.
Filming Made in Chelsea is basically like just having fun with your friends.
Yeah.
It never really...
It's a mix though. You have that side and then you have the side when you are in a relationship on it. And it can be really like testing, but more because of whatever's going on in a relationship. And I think unfortunately, because my relationship on there with Tristan went on and off for like a year. Was it a year? Maybe a bit longer than a year.
Is it hard? Like when you're in a relationship on the show, are you allowed to talk about things off camera and then have to like, do you have to redo that when you go and film?
No, they sort of bit like, say one of me and my ex has gone on a night out and there was a fight. We would then discuss it the next day at filming. The way it sort of works is that what you're doing is opening up your life to them. So there are certain things that obviously go on that you have to not save, but you do show for them. So like say there was a serious conversation I wanted to have with one of my mates because she pissed me off. I would save that and do it on the show because that's obviously what the sort of premise of it is about. And weirdly, actually, I used to find it bizarrely therapeutic having conversations on camera rather than in real life because you articulate now I can't fucking speak. You articulate yourself a lot better because I think the cameras are there. You suddenly
100%.
know what to say, and it doesn't like you can say things calmly.
But I think
so I prefer
you have a bit of time to think about it,
and
not just go
and not rush it. Because also in normal life, like I sort of panic and shout at people really quickly. Whereas with filming, you actually
and you're kind of aware, like actually, if I do that, everyone's gonna fucking hate me.
Well, no, that was one thing I never really thought about because I think I never really, not that I didn't care, but I was never hugely bothered what people would say, really.
No, you weren't, but that's why you came across so well. And I know I've seen like the comments about Made in Chelsea. They love you on that show because you didn't like go on there.
I think that took a while though. In the beginning, oh my God, I was slut shamed. People saying comments about my shitty hair. Like, I had to fucking work.
Don't come for the lid.
And then on a Sunday morning, if I was a bit hungover, I'd fucking go for them. And then give it a couple hours, sober up, and then I'd delete all the comments.
Oh my God.
I used to get my sisters involved. I'd be like, Can you troll this person for me?
Yeah, no, I feel like the people like don't see, like the fans don't see the full side
of
who you are. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I think what's hard
because they only see an hour a week of your conversation.
Also, a conversation that probably has taken an hour is down to about 2 minutes. And I think, but yeah, so it's hard.
They pick the best 2 minutes of it.
Yeah.
So it's like, and you might sit there and look like you're being really boring, but you're not. And then they're like, she's really boring. I remember I went to one of Alex's PAs when they used to do personal appearances.
You came with me on a PA and it was the worst night of my life.
Was it Brighton?
Was awful. It wasn't Brighton. It was somewhere else. And it was a Monday night at some uni club. We went with Tom Dolmore.
Yeah.
Drove us in his Range Rover and we got to this joint and my face was plastered across these posters all over the floor.
And you hated the picture, didn't you?
It was worse. It was a promo photo I'd done for something like this. And it was about 3 people were there. And I was like, well, this is great.
They didn't know who you were.
And I was like, what am I doing here? I think we got coaxed into all of that. That was like a prank.
I love doing these PAs. I thought it was really funny because obviously it wasn't me that anyone was coming to see. So I got to just sit there with the free drinks and have fun.
See, PAs just don't happen anymore. I just don't think they're a thing.
People don't care about like meeting reality stars that badly anymore, I don't think.
No.
I think it's more like influencers now that people like want to
Or it's probably like the Love Island blokes.
Yeah, let's talk about Celebs Go Dating because we both did that.
I really enjoyed it.
Like,
Like, I had a lot of
but
fun.
you also did it in the right way. I did it in the wrong way.
But when did I came on it with you?
Yes, you
yeah,
did.
I came on as your friend.
You were my celeb friend.
That's so funny. What did you do it just the year after? No, you did it quite a few years after me because I did it just after I'd broken up with Digby. So I
did it last year.
Oh fuck! It was only last year.
I know.
But I thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, I was just pissed the whole time.
Crazy. And that's the thing. I think you did it in the right way. I did it in the wrong way. I actually got involved with fucking Adam Collard of all people.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm so sorry about what
I
the fuck
remember that because on the night we finished, we all went for drinks. He was there, as in the night Celebs Go Dating finished, and then what, he pied you the next day?
Pied me the next day.
It's outrageous.
Outrageous.
That is
behavior.
outrageous.
Like, and it was so funny because I'd said to him on the show, like, disclosure, I just said to him, like, let's just do this for the cameras. Like, let's just like how, like, because we were having sex like during the whole filming, and I just thought, fuck it, like, let's just like, you know, like make it a thing, and then we don't have to date all these losers. Because I'm not being funny, the people they set you up on a date with.
No.
It's
I had one date
unhinged.
that was one of the worst experiences of my life. I go in, and this bloke's called Otto. And actually, they even said to me after, they're like, that's the worst we've ever seen. And I think he had a clip-in bun or a man bun or something. And I was like trying to be quite polite. And he basically said he loved like really fake girls. And at this point, I'd never had any work done. I say that like I've had a load of work done. This was pre any Botox or filler. And I obviously don't have a boob job. And he was going on about this, and I was like, okay, great. So you're obviously not for me. And then he went on to tell a story about this one night stand he'd had where the girl had like wet the bed or something. And he was like, yeah, then I sent her the sheets and the bed. I thought, you're disgusting. I was like, you are a
Sent her the
cretin.
sheets.
It's something awful. And he was like, I pumped her. And I was like, this is just getting worse. So then
You know what's funny though? Because in those things you have breaks. Or
No.
things where, and I used to like, when I was on a bad one, I'd look at the producers and I'd be like,
See, I couldn't even get that far. I looked at him and I just thought, you are revolting. So I said, I'm going to go to Lou. And then I legged it. And then in the after video, I watched this clip of the after video, and he and his thing said, yeah, well, I'm fitter than her anyway. And and she obviously couldn't afford the bill. We had one drink. I was like, don't be outrageous.
But also, the funny thing is they don't even pay for their fucking drinks.
So funny. But it was just quite jokes.
No, to be fair, I never had any like bad, like rude, like people.
Who were your others? Oh, Chloe Burrows was your other
Chloe
one.
Burrows, Adam, Mark,
Francis. Oh, yeah.
Love him. And then there was Vanessa, Feltz, and then there was, who else was there? Spuds. I loved my series, actually. I loved the people on it, apart from Adam.
Spuds. Oh my God, Spuds. Yeah, because I did that cooking show with him.
I love the people on my series, apart from Adam. I actually had a really good time filming it.
Yeah, see, I think it's very dependent on who you're doing it with. Because I had Amy Childs, Alison Hammond, Lottie. Who else was on there? Amy Hart. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Like really good
you
people.
do spend a lot of time together, like in the week and stuff.
Well, we
it's
went
10
away.
weeks filming.
We went to the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, lucky you. We
literally just before COVID hit.
Babe, your series was the last series that got fun going away
Yeah,
to. Do you know what we got? Every
jokes.
year before that, it's like Costa Rica, Bahamas. Do you know what we got? Leicester. You fucking shitting me.
I really enjoyed it, and I loved Anna and Paul.
Do you know what? I fucking love
still
Paul
message
and Anna.
them. When I was having issues in my last relationship, I was message Paul about it.
Do you know what, that is the thing. I didn't realise that they were actually like
What,
coaches.
they were cast.
I thought they were like pretending to be life coaches
hilarious.
and like therapists. And I was like,
no, they were great.
Yeah, no, Anna was really, really helpful actually. I was going to start doing some therapy with Anna actually, and then I decided that
I
absolutely fine. I don't need therapy. Just kidding.
We could do some therapy.
Definitely. I could definitely do it. I'm just so bad. Like, I think, don't know what this is my ADHD, but I'm so bad at like keeping to appointments.
I know. I think it's quite daunting, the thought of that. Like, I tried it a bit last year when I was on Chelsea.
Also, delving deep into my trauma in my life. It's like,
no one wants to go down that route, do they?
Yeah, let's not. I can just do that when I'm drunk. Over a glass
with your
of wine
mates.
with my mates. Yeah. Do you know what? I wish I'd done that. I wish I just had fun and gone on these dates and just had a silly little time. But instead, to be fair, I might actually. Still can't find love, so might as well.
They gave me the call up this summer, actually.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh my God, maybe
But Tristan was on it, and I was like, oh.
Ooh, yeah, no, maybe not. They would have loved that though.
But then I think they chose someone
No,
else.
I think if I hadn't got with Adam on it, I think I would have had a way better time, because I think like once you get involved with someone on a TV show, like now I actually kind of understand what you're going through on Chelsea, because like there's so many other people involved. and it just becomes
That's what
so.
actually the problem is, but that's why, like, because everyone always says to me, like, oh, does Made in Chelsea, does it ruin your relationships? It doesn't. It's everyone else's input.
Everyone else's
whether
input
that's
all the
like
time.
people commenting on Instagram
You
or
have to
just
be really strong to get through it.
constantly
That's the
getting
thing.
people's
But
shit.
That's why I think like the relationships that aren't going to last don't last as long, because it's like if you're really strong, you can survive that.
Yeah.
You can survive everyone else's input because
like,
nothing
really,
matters.
I've just realised with Rory, because he doesn't know any of my friendship group. Like, we're two very different, like, separate groups. We don't have any issues because there's no one's, do you know what I mean? Like, no one's got involved in it. He doesn't have Instagram, like.
No one else should be involved though. And also, like, even just like filming with your exes, like, as well. Like, was there a point where Tristan and Digby were both on at the same time?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Thank God not the three of us in one scene.
Yeah, do you know what? Imagine.
I'm still friends. I see Digby all the time. He's so sweet. He lives down the road from me, so I'm still really friendly with him.
Oh, you're friendly with him? You're not friendly with Tristan, no?
We're not. No, we're fine. I saw him at filming actually the other day. And it was, it was fine. I don't really have bad blood with people. Like, and exes, I don't either. Like, I'm not going to say they don't come around for supper and stuff. But like, I don't really have nasty.
No, this is the thing. I have quite a few. There's one actually that I have in LA. Me and him like call each other and we just like have chats. Like
quite nice.
Once a month, we'll be like, oh, hey, how are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, and it's funny because we both had like our relationships ended at the same time recently, and we both like calling each other like, oh.
Quite sweet,
but it's so platonic. We like met up in Paris, had a great time. I think you can be platonic with your exes.
you can.
Honestly, unless it ends badly. Like with Alex, it was a bit tricky for years because obviously he'd been unfaithful and like there was a lot that went on.
Yeah.
But me and him are actually fine now. We saw each other at Jamie and Sophie's wedding. We were fine. Like, it is sweet to like watch like the success stories of Made in Chelsea, like Jamie and Sophie.
Yeah, there's
and
loads of people. Hugo and Millie, Jamie and Sophie.
Yeah.
Who else?
I think that's it.
Is that it?
Probably, yeah.
Probably, yeah.
But like even just friendships and stuff like that, like friendships that have lasted so long.
Oh yeah, like I would class
Binky and Rosie
Tiff
and like
Watson is my best mate, and we met each other on the show. Like no, some amazing things have come from it.
Yeah, some amazing memories, some amazing times.
Good old memories.
Right, let's go on to your brand, because why did you start Joomo?
It was beginning of lockdown. I remember it was pissing with rain, and I rung a friend of mine, and I was like, "Should we do a line of sex toys?" And she was like, "This is jokes." Yes.
I know you're very sexual, but like, why sex toys and like sex?
So when we started, we thought about sex toys, and then we actually developed lube first, and now only recently have we done a sex toy. No, so basically, my business partner and I when I went through alopecia when I was younger, it like knocked my confidence a lot in the way I looked and felt about myself, and then I realized like, that can knock your confidence sexually as well. And weirdly, like throughout lockdown, I remember having loads of messages from girls saying, I feel really big, I don't want to have sex with my boyfriend because I put all this weight on. And like, that's how also it sort of helped work out what we were going to do with our brand. And like, that's what it was. So the whole premise around it is like enjoying sort of like, you know, like just being more confident and being more you kind of thing and not worrying about all that stuff. And so the whole thing is like the opposite of FOMO. So it's like enjoying. Joomo is joy of missing out and jealous of my orgasm. But it was all about like actually enjoying those moments, whether it's like masturbation or all that kind of stuff. Because I think
being happy like in your body is so difficult. But
and it's fucking hard.
But it does come into the bedroom, and it is unfortunate that like it does.
Like the amount of times I would like, not the amount of times, I remember dating someone and I was wearing a wig at this point and I was almost too nervous to sort of do anything more because I remember his hand on the back of my head and I was like, is he going to feel that's a fucking wig? And like all that sort of stuff. And I remember it just made me really
there are so many
insecure.
things that you wonder about. You're like, oh my God, what if they look at my asshole? And, like, what do you know what I mean? There's all these things that you actually do think about. You're like, oh my God, what if they think that like
you've got a funny vagina or like weird boobs or like there's so many things. And I think
what if they notice like my nipple hair growing out of my nipple?
But there's stuff, and I think also what's sad, not sadder now, but I think there's so much out there and younger people are subjected to so much stuff, whether it's like porn or everyone having work done. And I think
and like Instagram and TikTok, all these gorgeous people like on there, and then you just like think, oh God.
I said this the other day to someone, who was it? I think it was my agent. I said, I don't think if I was 16 now with Instagram, I don't think I'd cope. I would find it so fucking hard.
No,
and like, thank God
agree.
when I had alopecia, or when I was started to lose my hair, that Instagram wasn't a thing, because I would find it would be soul destroying. Like to constantly, I think everyone lives their lives. It's so about our appearance.
It's so fake as well. You know these girls that say like, I'm not supposed to have, but there are girls that like wear like extensions or wigs, and they'll say, "Oh, like look at this new product and what it's done for my hair."
Such a load of shit.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I know, it's so
and
bad.
I'm sat here with my wispy hair, like,
don't. This comes from Russia. But no, I think it's really sad. And I think the other thing with Joomo, our whole mine and my business partner, Bella, our whole thing was like trying to normalize things that actually everyone goes through, whether it's girls who get UTIs after having sex or like it's such common stuff.
It's really important to like make sex normal.
Yeah, and no one talks about it. This is the problem. And I think there's such a like stigma surrounding it, especially for women to talk about it. And like, I know you had her on your show, but that Bonnie Blue, I think she goes up against in a negative way. I'm not a fan. I just think she's sort of almost destroying what other women are trying to put out there. I shouldn't really slate that, but like,
no, it's fine. It's your opinion.
It's, you know, we're trying to, I don't know, women are sexual and have similar needs. And I think there's so much guys have been prioritized in that area for a really long time. And I think women should actually prioritize themselves. And I think the conversation with how this all started with my business partner is I remember saying to her, is it weird that I fake orgasming? Like that's how it all started.
I think
do you know how many people do?
Yeah,
like everyone does. But no one ever really talks about it. And it's like, well, why do you? And it's probably because in our heads, we've watched some sex scene in a film. I don't know, women are sexual and have similar needs. And I think there's so much guys have been prioritized in that area for a really long time. And I think women should actually prioritize themselves. And I think the conversation with how this all started with my business partner is I remember saying to her, is it weird that I fake orgasming? Like that's how it all started.
I think
do you know how many people do?
Yeah,
like everyone does. But no one ever really talks about it. And it's like, well, why do you? And it's probably because in our heads, we've watched some sex scene in a film where they're having it up against the door, which I'm pretty sure is fucking uncomfortable.
The only time, but the other thing is, it's funny because I only ever faked orgasms because I wanted it to be over.
Yeah. But
not even for them. I did it because I was like, I'm over it now.
Yeah.
You know when they're like, I'm not going to do it until you come.
How many people say that and do that, but no one ever says anything? So it was all about like trying to open up the conversation about like all of this.
People are, and it's funny because British people aren't very prude with certain things, but then are really prude with like some things, like sex and stuff. Me and you, I think we get along because we're very open about that.
Yeah, but I have a very open family. Have our chats,
we can just talk about anything.
But that's
sexually.
what I want. And I think
some people you talk to them about, and they go, "Oh my gosh!"
But I don't think some people have ever felt comfortable enough to speak about certain things. Like I don't mind talking about all this stuff. I think because I'm having so many sisters, we all talk about everything.
Yeah. And your family is very open in general.
The conversations
I mean, you did a nude calendar, let's be honest.
The day I lost my virginity, the first person I fucking bumped into at home was my father, and I was like, great. I remember having to tell it was awful. Anyway.
You told him?
Yeah.
What did you say, like, Daddy? I'm not a little girl.
He was like, what, from that bloke at the end of the driveway? And because I basically had this secret boyfriend for about 6 months that I never told him about. And I used to trot off in the evenings down the drive to go and meet him. And this went on for about 6 months. And my dad then rung me from the home phone and was like, get down here right now, Lula. And he goes, we need to meet this gentleman. A gentleman sounds rogue. I was like 17, he was 18. He wasn't a gentleman. He was definitely still at school. And yeah, that's how, it was all, they were just very overly involved.
No, but I really love that you're doing something like this because I think it's so up your street.
But I think hopefully it will help other people who feel like they don't have anyone to talk to or think that what's going on with them is not normal. Like I was reading something the other day. It was saying the amount of women who have like an actual medical issue, but who won't go and speak to doctors about it because they're too like embarrassed and nervous. But it's stuff that no one should be embarrassed about.
Pap smears even as well.
Pap smears, getting your boobs checked, whether you've got like thrush or there's so many different things. But like everyone goes through it.
Oh my God, yeah. UTIs, thrush. Like
silly
so
things
normal.
like you knowing that you should pee after sex. Like a lot of people don't know that.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that either.
Or there's like, what's another one we talk about a lot? Oh yeah, guys, this is another one I hate. You know when guys, I just hate this conversation. Guys say, oh, girls smell like down there. What they don't actually realise.
I actually got a couple comments because I did a funny TikTok where I was like, when a man says he won't go down on a girl, I'm like, and it was me going like, ew. And they went, yeah, but it smells fishy down there was one of the comments. And I thought,
but do you know why that is? A guy's pH down there is different to a girl's. So their pH offsets yours. So ultimately, if you smell, it's because of them.
I'm going to be so real as well. Cum doesn't exactly taste the best or smell the best. I'm going to be so honest with men. It's like they can sit there and say all they want about our flowers, but like their cum tastes like shit. And sometimes it's sweaty down there. Do you know what I mean? We'll move on that note.
On that.
But I'm so proud of you, and I love that you're doing this. And I need to get one of these sex toys. Do you get to? Because it must be fun that you get to test these out.
The sex toys. You should see my house. I should put you some lube. But this is our new packaging. This is the intimate serum. So this one works with sex toys. No. My flat. I honestly. Poor Rory, I think, thinks that I'm into all sorts because I get sent. I honestly probably have about 100 vibrators in my house. Because I get sent for colours. But I also did jobs with Love Honey.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
So that's the That one's got an ingredient in that's called Lottie. I say it wrong.
Wait, is this
that one doesn't have a scent.
Is this
that,
lube?
Yeah, that one's lube, but it's water-based. The other one's oil. The other one's the one that's got the fragrance.
Oh my God, look at it. I've had some guys try and use weird things as lube.
Such as
like Vaseline and things like, like, I've had guys try and use like the weirdest things like moisturizer. I'm like, do you know what that's going to do to my vagina?
Yeah.
I'm going to be in the doctors for the next week. No, that's
all about. Yeah, have a go.
I'll use it.
But yeah, no, the sex toy just launched, which is very exciting. People are going wild for it.
What is it? What does it look like?
It's called the Wand Massager. I'll show you.
All right, babe. So we've come to the end now, and this is my favorite segment. This is Bedtime Stories, where we have people write in, we give them advice.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give you a few of these scenarios, and then you can just give these people advice, because I always do it. It's boring when I do it. My boyfriend and my brother got into a literal physical fight at a family gathering, and now my parents are refusing to see me unless I dump him. He was defending me after my brother called me a slag. I think he's in the right, but I don't know what to do. Louise, 22.
Christ. Your brother and your boyfriend got into a fist fight. I mean, if he was has she said to her, she did say to her parents, listen, your other child, my brother, was calling me a slag.
Yeah.
Surely you can't, don't dump him. I don't think dump him. I don't think you can dump him.
That's crazy that the parents are refusing to see her unless she dumps it.
Yeah.
I'm not being funny.
No,
like,
I think
boys will be boys as well. Yeah. And they will fight.
Also, they should be happy that he was defending her honor.
Absolutely. Hi, Lottie. I've been seeing this guy for a little while and he's legit the whole package. Funny, hot and successful. We finally had sex the other night and let's just say it was a letdown. When I asked him why he had trouble performing, he said he couldn't find me sexually attractive and he was sorry. I feel completely deflated. How can I come back from this?
Right now.
Do you know what? Every time I answer these things, I'm like, suck him off.
But I also, who says to someone else, sorry, I'm not sexually attracted to you? You don't actually have to say that. You can just make up an excuse and save hurting their feelings.
And then just say, actually, I don't really think this is working.
And just say, you know what, I think we'd be better as friends.
Yeah.
Guys need to show some sort of...
that one thing they have is audacity. The one thing they don't have is decorum.
But the other thing with girls, and actually guys as well, that knocks your confidence so easily. It's like,
oh my God.
If guys can't get it up,
anything to do with sex as well, as we were talking about, is so sensitive.
It's such a sensitive
thing. I get so worried that I don't perform well in the bedroom as well sometimes. I'm like, it's just such a worrying thing.
Yeah, it is. And especially, and it doesn't help when someone else fucking adds to that. Like, if you're nervous enough as it is.
But it is hard because sometimes you can have such good chemistry romantically and everything else is great, but then sexually it's just like not there. Or the opposite. All right, so we think dump him, basically.
Yeah.
All right, I was going through my boyfriend's phone the other night looking for a
password already.
Yeah. Looking for a password we needed. Yeah, sure. Been there. And I found a pros and cons list from before we made it official. I was curious and read it. Good one. On the cons list, he'd put annoying laugh and bad hairline. Was he talking about himself? I feel so hurt by this and I'm worried I will confront him. I'm worried if I confront him, he'll accuse me of snooping.
But bad hairline, that was on a con. That's savage. I would dump him. I'm not being funny.
Awful.
But I mean, hopefully he's not
also, that is normally men that have the bad hairline, let's be honest.
I mean, mine's not great, but no, but that's also, I think that's quite savage. I would have to say, listen, mate, I've gone through your fucking phone and I've seen what you've written.
You're going to find something that you don't like.
Nothing has ever compelled
me. Have you ever looked for a boy's phone?
Never.
Really?
Yeah. It's because I'm so thick I don't remember the fucking passwords.
I'm like, yeah, neither.
Oh, but no, I haven't. I always just think you're going to find something you don't want to. And even if there's like, you're looking for trouble, just don't do it.
Yeah.
And if you don't trust that person enough that you actually continuously want to look at their phone, it's not going to work.
I've been with my girlfriend since we were 15 and I love her. But recently I've been getting on really well with this new girl at work. My co-worker told me she fancies me.
I heard you say 15. I was like, he's got a job.
Oh, no. No, I looked at that as well. I was like, wait, 15? My co-worker said she fancies me and I've started imagining sleeping with her. Even when I'm with my girlfriend, and we definitely flirt too. Is this just a crush or is it a sign that it's time to set myself free? Set yourself free, mate, honestly. I think the moment you start thinking about somebody else in that way, it's kind of over.
But you have to end that first thing before considering something else.
1,000,000%.
Yeah, that is true. The second you start thinking about someone else.
Yeah.
But yeah, it probably is.
No, especially when it gets that deep. Like if you've had one dream about them or something, then no. But like I'm saying, like if you're thinking about it a lot and like, you know what I mean? All right, well, thank you so much, Liv Bentley, for coming on the podcast.
Thanks, babes.
It's been a hoot.
Enjoy your lube. Give me a good review.
Yeah, and go and buy Joomo. Where can you get it?
Oh yeah, JoomoLondon.com.
Or Liv's Instagram.
Or my Instagram, yeah.
Love it. Thank you guys so much for watching or listening or whatever you're doing right now. And come back next week for some more fun guests. And see you next week.